Going on, Jerome's. We're taking a look at the Vikings quarterback big board headed into Week 11. So not a lot of games going on. Quite a few quarterbacks on bye, as well as a handful of games postponed or canceled due to the Rona. But here's the current top 14 for the Vikings, even though so this list started off as a top 10 and then became a 12, then 13, now 14. Maybe it's just a way to keep Tanner Morgan on the board because, oh boy. I don't think that any quarterback who came in as a day one or day two potential prospect has done worse. It's not a great start. Now, part of it is Gophers have definitely been a run-first team with Mo Ibrahim absolutely destroying things. He looks phenomenal. He's going to be playing well on Sunday. But Tanner Morgan, we'll get to him. So at the top, Trevor Lawrence, Clemson on a bye. They're at Florida State next week. A nice little ACC game. But Trevor Lawrence missed 2 games, missed the Boston College as well as the Notre Dame game with COVID restrictions. So obviously, it would have been great to have Lawrence in the Notre Dame game. They did pull off the upset against Clemson, but that was Lawrence's chance to have a true big game, a true Heisman moment this season. And I don't think Lawrence is going to get into the Heisman conversation this year. I wouldn't be shocked if he isn't invited to the virtual top 3 for the Heisman this year, because I think it is going to be Fields. I think it is going to be Trask, Mac Jones. Hell, maybe even Derek King works his way in there as well. So it's unfortunate for Lawrence, but I'm sure he'll be fine making that number 1 overall pick money, even though it's not as much with the rookie wage scale and is going to be with the Jets, so it's whatever. Justin Fields, Ohio State at Maryland was canceled due to some COVID concerns, but also, man. So Ohio State needs these games both to make their case for the playoff as well as Justin Fields making his case for the Heisman. He's looked phenomenal. Like, as good as Lawrence has looked, Justin Fields, you can make a good case, has been the best college football quarterback in the country this year, even with Kyle Trask just like destroying fools. We'll get to him in a sec. Next up, they do host number 10 Indiana, so it's going to be a big-time game for Fields and Ohio State at the Shoe. And also, how about Indiana, man? I mean, that would be the perfect way to cap off 2020. Indiana makes the college football playoff. Zach Wilson, BYU are red hot. They're on bye this week. Next week, they're at North Alabama. I think that consensus-wise, Zach Wilson is shooting his way up draft boards. He is the flavor of the week right now. There is something to be said about peaking too early in draft season, as we are extremely early in draft SZN season. But I think Wilson, like we said, if BYU is going to end up undefeated in all likelihood. They're going to get into a big-time game against a top-level competition, a Power 5 team. And if Wilson does great in that bowl game, it's going to rocket ship him going forward. So, and also, who knows what's going to happen with the Combine this year? Who knows what's going to happen with the Pro Day? So that game might be the last chance that teams get to see Zach Wilson. I think that would go a long way. I think that I think odds are he will be the third quarterback drafted off the board. No offense to Trey Lance. It's just that, NDSU and him, they're not playing right now. I think Wilson could be the third quarterback off the board in all likelihood. Plus, I think that he will find his way into top 10. So, now the tankers have changed their tune. It's like, tank for Trevor. Now it's tank for Zach. Going to mess on both. It's whatever. Number 4, Trey Lance. Still has the physical tools. Still has the big arm. Basically, Trey Lance is I don't want to say like a rich man's Desmond Ritter, because it's weird saying that the FCS guy is the rich man and the FBS, even though group of 5 guy is the poor man. But you do see a lot of similarities with Trey Lance and Desmond Ritter. We'll get into Desmond Ritter in a sec. Ritter had himself a great ball game too. 5, Kyle Trask. So he moved up 1 spot over Mac Jones last week because Jones and Bam were on a bye last week, and then also the LSU game got postponed this week. But Kyle Trask, man. Come on. 63-35 win versus Arkansas. 23 of 29, 356, 6 touchdowns, and a 97.6 QBR. Remember, that's on a scale of 100. Heisman frontrunner. I think that's pretty fair to say. Had 5 touchdowns in the first half. He's had now 6 straight SEC games with 4+ touchdowns, which is absolutely insane. The Gators are playing some phenomenal ball, as well as, man, he did this without Kyle Pitts, the best tight end in the game. He was out with a concussion, so it's whatever. Also, they're at Vanderbilt next week, so bloodbath. Yeah, Bama LSU game got postponed. LSU is not the team that they were before, but I think Bama still has a very good chance to make the playoff, as well as do Bama things, and then Mac Jones can put his own stamp and write his own script as a national champion there. Again, number 7. So Derek King. I know that a lot of people don't like Derek King, but come on, man. Come on. Like, just gritty, gutty, gets it done somehow, some way. 25-24, come from behind win at Virginia Tech in Blacksburg. 24 of 38, 255 yards passing, 1 touchdown, 69.8 quarterback rating. Nice, not really, QBR. 1 rushing touchdown. And it was not his best game. It was pretty ugly out there, but when it came down to crunch time, he led them on a late third quarter touchdown drive. He led them on the game-winning touchdown drive in the fourth quarter. The kid is gritty. And you've seen this. Like, Miami has been in some pretty tight ball games, sometimes against opponents that they shouldn't be tight in, but King just finds a way to get it done. Also, I'm sure this narrative will be beat to death too, like the fact that Derek King started over Kyle Trask in high school, and Trask had 0 high school starts before going to Florida. I'm sure that will absolutely get beaten to death during draft season as they do all the profiles and whatnot. The aforementioned stud Desmond Ritter, big-time win, 55-17, hosting East Carolina. He's 24-31, 327, 3 touchdowns, 89.9 QBR, as well as 75 rushing yards and a touchdown. And this is a beatdown. This is a beatdown from the beginning. Cincinnati is now 7 in the nation. I think they could find their way into a New Year's Six Bowl. And Desmond Ritter, he's super intriguing. A lot like Zach Wilson, you do wonder about caliber competition. Same thing with Trey Lance. But, I mean, Desmond Ritter has been doing it. He's been the Bearcats starter for 3 years. Phenomenal athlete, probably the best running quarterback in this class, but he's a lot more than that. He's got a big-time arm. He has shown flashes of NFL accuracy, but he does have some inconsistencies. He does, I believe on this list, he's thrown the most interceptions of any quarterback on here. Don't quote me on that, but actually, no, Brock Purdy's on this list. What am I talking about? Yikes. But yeah, so we did a full profile on Desmond on Sunday, and he's really intrigued me. And I think he is a guy that does need to sit for a year or two, hopefully pair him up with a great offensive coordinator, a great quarterbacks coach as well, and just really hone things in and cater his game to the pro game, as well as bring some of the great things that he has done in college up to the NFL game. Insert a little RPO, insert a little read option into your offense. Now, maybe don't make it the whole offense, a la Baltimore, but just cater your scheme to what the kid does well, and then expand upon what the kid does well, and bring it into the pro game. If Desmond Ritter is the Vikings, say, a third-round pick, and then they go Wyatt Davis first round, and then they pick up a solid 3-tech, maybe Twyman or Stills or something in the third round, or trade up in the second round, I'll be okay with that. I'll be okay. And yeah, if you're telling me we have to survive 2 more years of Kirk Cousins and then we get Desmond Ritter year 3, okay, I'm in. Also on the list, so number 9, Sam Ehlinger, Texas, right-handed Tebow. Texas on a bye. Is Texas back? No, probably not. They're at Kansas next week, so they'll definitely be back. Ehlinger's going to have a big game. Number 10, Kellen Mond, Texas A&M. A guy who's been rising up the boards. Super intriguing, but the game at Tennessee, that got postponed. 11, Brock Purdy. I don't know, man. I don't know. I want to like Brock Purdy. It's really ugly, but he gets it done sometimes. He's got a little Sam Ehlinger in him. He's got a little Derek King in him, but I don't know, man. I don't know. Like I know that Brock Purdy, some places had him first round, second round hype. I don't see it, but I think that if a team takes a shot on a quarterback 5th, 6th round, I think Purdy could bring a little something to the table, but I don't know. They're on bye this week, the Clones, and then they're hosting Kansas State. 12. So Ian Book, guy actually did play. So win at Boston College, Notre Dame, undefeated, still rolling. Was previously unranked, now into the top 12. 20-27 for 283, 3 touchdowns, 97.6 QBR. Also ran for 85 yards and a touchdown. Great mobility. Small, but really decent, potentially a system quarterback. And also, for all the reasons I love Trace McSorley, I wanted him as a late-round pick. Frankly, I'm okay with the Vikings trying to trade for him right now. I think Ian Book will bring a lot of that dynamicness to the table, where he's got an okay, not great arm. He's got good accuracy, not great accuracy. Him being 6 foot, that's going to count against him in the eyes of NFL decision makers. So I think that he could end up as a deep day 3 pick, and then some team is going to get this feisty guy in college. Sure, played behind a great offensive line, but does have the ability to make plays off script. grip, can make a couple of big-time clutch throws. And if Notre Dame makes the playoffs this year and he shows it on the big stage, that may boost his stock just a little bit. 13, Jamie Newman. So he is previously unranked because he had transferred to Georgia from Wake Forest, had a phenomenal career for the Demon Deacons, but then opted out this season for the Bulldogs. But big-bodied, big arm, like his game a lot. I think he could be firmly in the mid-round conversation. Maybe he falls just because he didn't play this year. And again, it's not through no fault of his own. Like him, Trey Lance, etc. It's just that some of these other guys, like before the season, would you have bet good money that Kyle Trask or Mac Jones or Derek King would have been drafted ahead of Jamie Newman? Probably not. But I think that at this point, it's probably a likelihood. Well, maybe not King, but you know what I mean. And then 14, Tanner Morgan. Yikes. 35-7 loss versus Iowa, and that 7 was very merciful by the Hawkeyes. So 16-33, $167, 1 touchdown, 2 picks, 37.1 QBR. So props to Kirk Ferentz and the Hawkeyes. They challenged Tanner Morgan. They're like, okay, we're going to stack up against Mo, and we're going to double and triple and do whatever against Rashad Bateman, beat us some other way. And Tanner Morgan simply did not. Absolute nightmare of a game. Is less than ideal. And yeah, you had a lot of hope for the Gophers coming off that 11-2 season. Also, Tanner Morgan looked great, MVP of the bowl game, but hasn't looked great. Has not looked great. They host Purdue on Friday. Oh, also, Ian Book, Notre Dame, they're off next week, and then they're at UNC, so that's going to be a good game against Mac Brown and company. But that's it. That's a look at the Vikings quarterback big board update for Week 11. What are your thoughts? Let us know in the comments section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support that work? Post something in the Venmo. But until next time, Skol, production value.